welcome to our special live tarot reading for the Sagittarius full moon eclipse. We are doing this reading that is normally pre-recorded during a live event. So if you're interested in the live tarot events, you definitely want to become a Patreon member over at patreon.com/Michelle Shea. And it's usually the full-time fortune tellers that get access to this. This month was something special. We opened it up to all levels. So even if you decide to come in on the lower levels, sometimes you get a little extra goodie and you can participate in these events as well. So as we move into the Sagittarius full moon, we're also getting into our eclipse season. And there's a lot of drama online about the eclipse season. A lot of people like to consider it a doom and gloom and dramatic time. And I think it's actually kind of exciting. It means that change can happen really, really quickly. So don't fear the eclipses. But we're going to start with our Total Betty Goddess card. So if you're not familiar, I've got a deck of my creation. It's 90s icons as the goddesses, and I always like to have them reside over the reading. So first up, we have Hera, played by Jennifer Aniston of Friends. So what Hera is here to tell us is that there might be a little bit of envy going on in this eclipse season. The things that are coming up might be about looking at others around you, whether it be other people's relationships, other people's jobs, where they're at in their career, and kind of sizing yourself up against these people. And the message that Hera is bringing us is a reminder that comparison is the thief of joy. And if you can sort of shut out what the outside world is doing and stop that comparison, you actually tap in more authentically to your personal voice. So just know that might be something that's coming up, might be something to keep in mind as you're moving into this whole idea of changing up the life. Again, big change during eclipse season. You will then, want to make sure that the change comes from inward and not from this sort of outward reflection of what you're seeing in the outside world. So just kind of put that in your back pocket, keep it there. If you find yourself comparing yourself to others in the outside world, come back in and be like, okay, but what is it that I am here to do? And what is it that I am here to put out in the world? Because you don't want to be a carbon copy of what else is out there. So our first oracle card is out of the way. The next card is coming in from the Fuzzy Prism Oracle. So we're going to do 3 cards here. This is just the beginning oracle cards. Now, the extended reading will be available on that full-time fortune teller level over on the Patreon. So diving into this energy, we're going to do a card for where we're coming from, a card for what this full moon eclipse is going to be feeling like, and a card for where that's going to take us. Okay, so our past card is coming in with Teach. The Teach card is showing us that we've done some good work over the past couple years, couple months, whatever it is that we're looking at with this trajectory. But going into this eclipse, we're already becoming an expert in not necessarily our field and career, but sometimes that might be it. It's also becoming an expert within the ability to be an example to others, whether it be professionally or personally. This is coming in with a card that anyone that's watching this reading is definitely in a place where you do have a level of expertise that you can be an example to other people. And that's a great thing. That's also some pressure to bear. So just know that that's what's kind of built into this eclipse season. And then what's coming from this eclipse is service. Shiny cards, hard to pick up with the light, but it does say service. And service is basically telling us that we might have been trying a little too hard to monetize our expertise. And it's not saying that we can't make money from our expertise. This is saying that if you can come at it from a place of service, the money will follow. And again, there's still a matter of own your worth. You don't want to sell yourself short. You don't want to just assume that you're not going to make money from these things, but you also don't want to turn down opportunities to display your expertise in these areas that may not be monetarily rewarding if they are fulfilling on a soul level. So that's going to be the difference here. You're not going to bleed your energy dry in giving things away for free for everything. But when it feels really authentic, when it feels really in alignment with what you want to do in the world and what you want to change in the world, it's sometimes okay to give things away for free. These readings are a good example of that. You know, I make my money on the Patreon and with personal readings, but I do like to have these oracle card readings for the masses because I think it's helpful. And for some people, they may not need any more than what's in this video. And those that do can then find me, and then money will flow from that. But there's this feeling of balance between still letting yourself give some stuff away for the sake of the community, for the sake of the impact that you want to place on the world. So that's really coming in with this Sagittarius eclipse. It's kind of like, okay, yes, we want you to be valued and we want you to really own your worth and ask for what you're worth. But we also don't want you to get so into that mindset that you have to make money that you're shutting down the opportunity to make a difference. So those are the things that are coming into play here. We're kind of playing around with that idea of valuing ourselves, but also valuing the difference we can make within the world. And there is no right or wrong way to be able to discern when it is that you're going to charge for something and when it is you're going to give away. This is something that you have to be able to go inward and check in with your heart, your soul, your morals, your alignment, your mission, and see what feels right on a case-by-case basis and allow it to be something that you do keep on a case-by-case basis. So there's a feeling here of maybe being a little, I don't want to say secretive, but there's a feeling here of not necessarily giving everything away up front of what it is that you have to offer or what it is that you're charging for something, so that you can kind of be like, okay, on this situation, I'm going to make an exception to what I would normally charge, sort of a sliding scale type thing. If you go to a doctor and they're doing a sliding scale, they usually don't tell you what the process for the sliding scale is. They find out what your circumstance is and give you a price. So you don't know if you're being charged more or less than the person that was ahead of you. It's just a matter of like, this is your personal sort of fee. And again, this is kind of based around career, I think, because of the energy that's in the room for this live reading. But there's definitely, this can be applied to all kinds of things. So whatever it is that you're getting value from something, it can be an exchange within a relationship. You want to be able to teach the people you're in relationships with, but you also want to make sure that you're being of not kind of keeping score, not feeling like, oh, well, I did this, this, and this for you. So now I'm waiting for you to do this, this, and this for me because that's my payment. Sometimes you can just do things for the people that you love because you want to, and there doesn't have to be a back and forth score that's being kept. So that's an interesting message to be coming through with this. And I think if we pull in Hera's energy, it does really come in clear that, you know, if you're going to be of service, you may not be looking to others to see when they are giving things away or when they are charging for things, because it's going to be different from person to person. And again, use the money as a metaphor in relationship situations as well. It can be applied to every area of your life. After this full moon eclipse, we are going into an energy of through. So this is an interesting feeling. It feels like through is both good news and bad news. Through is saying that as we're coming through this new moon or this full moon eclipse, we're entering in a new era. There's been a chapter that's closed out, and there's definitely new things that are coming in. That also means it's going to feel a little stickier. So through is a little bit of effort. Through means that there is going to be some trudging through and some learning how to do things that you've never done before, and a little bit of discomfort. But the good news is, again, this is the beginning process of that new chapter. So just like if you're learning a new skill, you don't expect to pick up a guitar for the first time and be able to play an amazing song. You got to kind of pluck things out and learn the chords, and it gets a little sticky. It feels a little like, oh, I want to be further than I am right now, faster. But those are all really important parts about getting to be able to play the guitar. And so this is definitely what we're feeling after this eclipse. And I think into the summer, as we do several other eclipses coming about, because again, it is eclipse season. But after the Sagittarius full moon, we are definitely having this feeling of, whew, closed out that chapter. And then now I got to do a little more work. Like I got to trudge along and learn new things. And that's okay. The message is that's a sign that you're on to something new and different. And that's what you ask for. That's what you've been manifesting, is something new and different. So think of any of the stickiness as a good sign, as a sign from the universe that you're on the right track, because this is something unlike anything you've experienced before. So maybe that can take some of the weight off of that newness, that through energy, because you are knowing that it's meaning that something new is happening and that your manifestations are working and you are going to get something different than what you've experienced in the past. And that's exactly what you want. If you would like to continue on with the tarot cards, we'll be moving into about 10 more tarot cards on our extended reading, which is available on the patreon.com/Michelle Shea. Again, the full-time fortune tellers get access to that. So we will shuffle up the cards. And if you're watching this on this live reading, we'll continue now. And if you're watching this on Patreon, the rest of your reading starts right now.